Good morning, people. Hello, it's Talkin really, and a story that's going to be shocking you, because I think the majority of people will be affected by this. It's 900,000 people face pay cuts in DWP benefit switches. So this is continuing, if you remember, before the how do I say it, pandemic, the DWP were switching people to UC, Universal Credit. And of course, when that started, they stopped doing that. They had too much to worry about. Well, guess what? They're going to resume that transfer. Whether that is migration voluntarily, in the end it'll be forced transfer for some. What they're hoping is that people will volunteer, but anybody in their right mind, why would you volunteer to get less money? And this all has to be done by 2024. Again, that deadline, 2024, 25, it's all to do with universal basic income, which obviously is part of the long-term plan. And of course, there's 900,000 people who are going to be worse off as far as this story is concerned. It's actually in Birmingham Live, but hey, it will appear in other outlets as well. So here we are. This is the story. There are winners and losers in the plan to migrate everybody to UC, even though UC over the years has been slated, and people have said that we need to abolish it and get rid of it and have something fairer. Certainly the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, had a plan to remove it and put in a fairer system. But no, they didn't win. Purely, well, there are many reasons for that. So this story here goes into a little bit of detail, but it is quite complex to understand what's going on. So they're moving across. 900,000 people will be left worse off when they move across from old style legacy benefits. The transfer is to restart in May, well that's now, after being halted. Everyone on income-based job seekers allowance, income-related and ESA, employment support allowance, income support, housing benefit, that is if you're just on that alone, if you're not on anything else, that's purely one benefit. Working tax credit, child tax credit, they will all end up on UC, and it's going to be done by December 2024. In a report just released, 2.6 million will be transferred starting on May the 9th this year. Some will move by natural migration when their circumstances change. Others will make a voluntary migration by choosing to switch because they'll be better off. For how long, you ask yourself. And the rest will undergo a managed migration when DWP forces them to move. There is another related story that we'll look at in a moment. Of the 2.6 million households remaining on legacy benefits, they should they choose to claim UC, we estimate around 1.4 million would have a higher entitlement. 300,000 would see no change, and approximately 900,000, 35%, would have a lower entitlement. I can tell you now, a little bit of a shocker, anybody who is on disability premiums will be worse off. So if you're on disability premiums of any sort, you're going to be worse off. And it adds that 2/3 of those forced to claim would get traditional protection. It would be keeping the money at the same level for a while, and then slowly it would reduce down to the proper level. So you would be going down in money no matter what. They estimate that approximately 600,000 will receive transitional protection. How will you be affected? Well, the winners, that is, these people who might see a higher entitlement, ESA and support group who are not in receipt of the SDA, so severe disability, in work households receiving housing benefit only or working tax credit and housing benefit, they're likely to have higher earnings under UC, so they can earn more money. People who do not work enough hours to receive working tax credit will be better off. Households who are not currently claiming all the legacy benefits that they are entitled to. The losers. Types of claimant who might see a lower entitlement. Households in receipt of ESA who are in receipt of SDA and enhanced disability. That's quite a lot of people who are disabled. Households with a lower disabled child addition on legacy benefits. Self-employed households who are subject to the minimum income floor. In work households that work a specific number of hours. Households receiving tax credits with savings more than 6,000. UC entitlement is reduced in a different calculation to tax credits. Obviously 16,000 is the maximum you can have to be able to claim any benefit. Obviously this has been going on for a few years and they passed this UC legislation, so it's going to be implemented and they're going to carry on doing that now. So what about for each legacy benefit? Well, there's JSA. You can see here that the higher same amount or lower payment for each category. They reckon that for people on income related ESA there's going to be 500,000 people worse off if they're on that. Income support again, higher, same and lower. Tax credits again, quite a few people moving and having more money. Housing benefit, there are fewer than 50,000 who will lose out. So I don't know how that works, but they're already taking money off you for the extra bedroom. The bedroom tax is still there. Mixed age couples, they've got that. So there's higher, same and lower. So the DWP estimates that once all legacy benefits are switched by the end of 2024, the majority of claimants will be better off, except if you're disabled and you have severe disabilities by the look of it. So they reckon that 3.8 million will be better off. 1.2 million will be on the same money and 2.2 million will be worse off. So there you go. If you're severely disabled, it looks like you're going to be worse off if you get transferred over. And believe me, you will get transferred over. This is what they're planning. And once you find out that you've got less money, it's going to be a situation that's not going to be reversible. Once you're on UC, that's it. What I want to know is what criteria there are for UC. So at the moment, ESA can do working for up to 16 hours. You don't have to work if you don't want to. There is that money that you can earn extra. Is that still available? Is there any reporting restrictions that you have to do? So do you have to report every week or month? If you're on ESA and you're in this support group, I think it is, you have to attend certain meetings, I believe, and a thing like that. Are you going to have to do any of that in the UC? Is there going to be any sort of requirements? Is there any limits on earnings that you can have? Like, I know it's 16,000 maximum savings, but I don't know any disabled people with that. However, the lower limit, 6,000, is actually quite significant because you could get that in back pay. Does that count? Things like this, questions that need to be asked. And unfortunately, articles like this, they never ask the right questions. But it definitely says that 900,000 claimants are going to be worse off. So, it's pretty poor, really. That's the story. Please do feel free to comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel. Go over to the website at www.talkinreally.co.uk and support me there. There's a very simple process that you could do, and if you don't want to do that, then there are other options such as PayPal, YouTube and Patreon to help me pay the bills. If you appreciate my work and my videos, then I would appreciate your support very much. So thanks for watching. Catch you next time.